Hey guys, welcome back to the Sal Pitera channel. I'm Sal.
I'm Debbie.
And today we are in the beautiful Carnival cruise port of Grand Turk. Now this is one of the most beautiful cruise ports anywhere on the planet. Now this is a 360-degree video, so you should be able to take your mobile device if you're watching this on a phone and literally move the phone around and you can see in 360 degrees. Or if you're not on a mobile device, on most other things you can just put your finger right on the screen and actually turn your viewpoint so you can see this beautiful port all the way around. Now a couple of quick things before we get started is to let you know that first of all, it's a little breezy here in port, so you're going to hear wind probably blowing on the microphone of the camera. I can promise you it's a lot less windy than it probably sounds on your end. And secondly, just as we were pulling into this port today, the entire island lost power. So as we go into stores, I'm not sure how it's going to work with the GoPro, because I know that GoPros don't really work that well with low lighting, but they may seem darker than usual. I'm going to spin the camera around so you have a better view. And we'll just make this nice little walking tour for you. Now this is one of the most beautiful beaches on the planet. What do you think there, Deb?
Hands down, yes. Especially if you go all the way down to the end of the beach and you end up at Jack Shack. It's great. There's not as many people down there. Great food.
The Jack Shack is a bar slash little restaurant straight down the beach, straight ahead of us, about 200 yards. And you really will find a great dining experience and probably the best jerk chicken anywhere in the Caribbean outside of Jamaica. Now it does seem a little congested right here because this is where the main area of the cruise port is. So this is where everybody comes first. But I promise it's not nearly as congested during the course of the day as it seems right here at the entrance to the cruise port. Now one little tip for you is that when you come to this port, you'll see all the blue chairs around us. The beach chairs here are free. They're actually owned by the cruise line. However, the locals will try and charge you $20 for a chair. You don't have to pay that. Personally, I do, because I feel like they do. Well, somebody left all these beers here. Personally, I pay them because they do maintain the chairs. I'll walk around. It is late in the cruise day, which is why you're going to see piles of beers all over the beach. I can promise you, this is actually an exception to the rule. I've never actually come here and just seen beer bottles piled up on the beach. But this is just what it looks like, an absolutely amazing beach. Now as you walk down the beach, you probably can go 50 yards and it gets much less congested, less people. The snorkeling is great here, the water is crystal clear, and where else can you have that view of your cruise ship just while you're walking along the beach? Yes, it is absolutely crystal clear water. They do have horse rides here on the beach. There's also lots of tours for snorkeling, scuba. I really don't recommend going downtown. If you haven't seen it, I guess it's worth seeing once. We went down there today. But downtown is very small here in Grand Turk. As a matter of fact, we spent most of our time going to a supermarket buying dog food so we could give food and water to the wild dogs downtown. So let's walk back up and we'll show you a bit of the actual port itself. And as you can see, we're already down past the opening to the cruise port. It's much less congested, much more of a relaxing feel. Now those cabanas are not free. They're about $20 for the day. So really not expensive. And you can get your hair braided here. Now another cool thing about this cruise port, if you're not really into the beach itself, is Margaritaville. Now normally by now, we're coming into the back of Margaritaville, you would hear a DJ playing, and I gotta tell you, he is a great tropical, upbeat DJ, really gets people dancing and in the tropical feel. But because the power's out, there's no DJ today. But Margaritaville does have a great restaurant and bar right here on the beach. You can see straight ahead of us. So if you're looking at us, just pan around to the other side and you'll be able to see one of the restaurants here at Margaritaville.
We also have that beach wave runner thing that I don't believe is working right now because of the power being out. We do have that available.
I'm not sure if you can hear it because the mic's kind of far away, but what Debbie said is they do have a surf rider here where you can go surfing, and we'll show you that in just a minute. And of course, no Margaritaville would be complete without a store and a Margaritaville restaurant. This is one of the original Jimmy Buffett Margaritavilles. Now here's another cool thing is the Margaritaville has this great pool deck. And again, there's usually a DJ playing here. Now the pool deck here, another great thing is 100% free. There's no charge for any of the chairs or to go swimming. And there's an abundance of seats. Now we actually have 2 ships in port right now, which is the maximum this port allows. So this is about the busiest you'll ever see this port. And it is pretty busy today. Matter of fact, Debbie and I come to Grand Turk quite a bit, and I don't think we've ever quite seen it this busy. And you got to come a little closer, they can't hear you.
They do have a swim up bar, which is convenient. A lot of people do like that.
Yes, let me pan this camera around. And that is a bar you can actually sit on the seats right there at the bar. Because their electric is not on. That's probably why the bar isn't so busy, because I think right now it's cash only, since there's no way for them to run a credit card machine. I will make another one of these tours on our next visit to Grand Turk, because I can promise you it's not quite the same without the music playing and the normal island feel. It's probably actually better for the video because you can hear us a little better.
Yeah.
But normally it's a much more tropical island feel. This is probably, like I said in the beginning, this is probably one of my wife and I's favorite ports in all of the Caribbean. And as you can probably hear on the microphone, it's getting a little breezy again. It was actually raining on and off this morning, but it has turned into a pretty nice day. That is true. And if you're fortunate like us, you get to spend quite a few days on a cruise ship, which sure beats sitting at home in the snow. So now we're coming into the shopping area. And coming up on your right is a favorite. Let's go through here. This is one of the favorites in the Caribbean. You'll see Piranha Joe's pretty much at every cruise port that you go to. Again, I'm not sure how the GoPro is going to react to the low lighting inside since all the electric is off on the island. But we'll take a quick walk through. Yeah.
Where'd you leave your daughter at?
Now, Piranha Joe is kind of a staple here in the Caribbean. Pretty much every port you come to, you'll find Piranha Joe memorabilia. Now this is probably my wife and I's favorite store here in the Caribbean, the Indigo Store. And it is a jewelry shop and t-shirt shop and art shop. And if you've ever watched the video of the tour of our home, you'll probably see a lot of these masks since our home is safari themed. We tend to shop here every time we come. Hopefully you guys can see even with the lights dark.
Only you would tell me the
And here you'll find great Caribbean jewelry. And the people that work here at the store are absolutely wonderful. So if you come down to Grand Turk, make sure you come to the Indigo Store. Tell them we sent you and ask for a discount, and I'm sure they'll give you one. And then we'll go over to the third side of the Indigo Store, and this is where you'll find your t-shirts and lots of ladies wear. Cruise attire, yes, cruise attire. We'll go back out into port. And there is one more store that I would like to show you before we head up to the cruise terminal and show you how we get back onto the ship and the beautiful view of the ship from the actual terminal. Unfortunately, that store is all the way on the other side. But it is also one of the favorite stores, and as we're walking around, you can look around, turn your device, and you will see lots of shopping here at the port. And coming up on your left, and he's not there now, again, it's probably because there's no electric, but there's usually a gentleman inside of the stage here, and he's normally playing steel drums, and he has it set up with an amplifier so you can hear it throughout the cruise port. And he does play for tips, so if you're so inclined when you see him playing, please make sure you give him a tip. A lot of times those guys are overlooked. Straight ahead, you got the Ron John Surf Shop. They are really famous for their huge store in Cocoa Beach, but they do have one here as well. And the Caribbean Outpost. This is probably the other big store that you want to visit if you come here. If you're looking for t-shirts, this is probably the best place here on the island. Again, the lights are out, so it's going to be somewhat dark inside, but we'll go ahead and take a peek and see how the video comes out. Yes, they're also really well known for their rum cakes. And they have lots of great jewelry in this shop, so when you come here, I always buy a watch when I come to this store when we're in port, because they have a great selection of watches. It's very dark in here since the power is out, but you can see probably on that wall is full of Tatura rum cakes. And if you haven't had one, I definitely suggest that they are wonderful. And I'll actually put a link to where you can buy them on my Amazon store in the description down below. And they come fresh, shipped directly from the Caribbean. They are available on Prime, so there is free shipping. And on this side of the store, you'll find lots of great t-shirt deals. Probably some of the best deals on t-shirts anywhere in the Caribbean.
Oh. Right at the register on the left. Okay.
And hopefully you guys could see inside. It is kind of dark in here. Now over here, we're not going to spend a huge bunch of time in this area, but if you're into NASA and you want to learn about John Glenn's space capsule did land here in Grand Turk, so they do have a nice John Glenn exhibit here as well. And yes, I have the hiccup, so if you hear me hiccuping, that would be why. A nice John Glenn Center. Teach you a little bit about John Glenn again, if you're not. Coincidentally, it's from Ohio, where we live. And they have a John Glenn shop as well, where you can get some John Glenn memorabilia. It is in the back of the Ron John Surf Shop. Sorry about that.
They also do have a restaurant in the back there that has very good conch fritters, if that's something that you like.
Yes, it's just past the John Glenn Center. We're not going to go over on that side during this portion of the video. But if you walk straight past the John Glenn Center, you'll find a little bar and restaurant back there. Two things that you'll want to use there is, first of all, the conch fritters, as Debbie said, are unbelievable. And they're pretty inexpensive as well. The beer is cold, but more importantly, if you're not purchasing internet on the ship and you need internet, they have the fastest internet connection on the island because not too many know about it, since it is past the John Glenn Center. So if you want to have internet, you go down there, you can use their internet connection. They will give you the password as long as you're buying something from them. And you'll have super fast internet, which is something that in the Caribbean, it's not always easy to find.
No, it's not.
Which is why we don't upload too many videos while we're actually here in the Caribbean. Because even though we have Verizon and we have the best plan that includes data here in the Caribbean, finding internet in the Caribbean is not always fun. And if you cruise before, you know the ship's internet, while you can buy their fastest package is still slower than most dial-up connections. So we're going to go back in the dark for just a minute because this is the main duty-free store known as the Duffery Shop. And this is a store where in most cruise ports, and again the lights are off so you're not going to see too much in here, but this is where you'll buy liquor, jewelry, odds and ends, and it's all duty-free, which means you don't pay taxes on it. So typically you can find it cheaper here than you do in the States. Even the items that are the same price, while you're in here, you're not paying the tax, which makes it by default a little bit cheaper. Now you do have to show to get back to the ship, you have to show your ship card. This is where they keep the riffraff out. And this, I mean, heck, you really can't compare the view of walking back to your cruise ship from this port.
Where else can you see a view like this? You know?
It's absolutely unbelievable. There's the beach. I don't know if you can see it. We'll spin around to this side. There's actually a giant beached whale on the beach up ahead. If you look just past that pier, you can probably see it.
All right, come on, it's starting to rain. Let's go.
Now you probably heard in the distance, it's starting to drizzle out a little bit, but we will keep the camera going. It is a GoPro, so let's hope that it's waterproof. Why don't we walk on that side so we can get a little view of the water in the beach. So if you've never been on a cruise ship, pictures really don't do justice on how big these ships really are. So I'm going to run this GoPro all the way up as we're walking up to the ship, so hopefully you'll get a better sense by looking at the people in comparison to how big the ships are. You can get an idea of the actual vast size of these ships. Now we are on board the Carnival Sunshine today, which is a dwarf compared to the Carnival Breeze, even though the Sunshine's actually a pretty big ship on its own. Now when we get between the ships, you're going to hear a lot more wind noise because it does become a breeze tunnel. Now again, this terminal is actually owned by Carnival Cruise Lines, so you're going to see a lot of Carnival ships coming into this terminal. They built this several years back and did an absolute wonderful job. However, other cruise lines do take advantage of this terminal, so Carnival will lease these docks out to other cruise lines, so you won't always see just Carnival ships on here. I'm going to raise this GoPro high in the air so you can get a good view over people's heads. Get between the ships, you're going to start hearing that wind tunnel. I can't imagine the wind brushing against the microphone. It's probably pretty loud. It's not nearly as bad as it probably sounds on your end. So guys, I want to thank you for watching my channel. While we were on this cruise, we passed 25,000 subscribers, and I can't tell you how humbled I am that you guys watch my videos. We really do appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to our channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell notification that's next to it, and then YouTube will let you know whenever we upload a brand new video. That is our walking tour of the beautiful Grand Turk port. Hopefully you can hear me over top of the workers, down at the end of the pier, over top of all this wind. I'm Debbie. I'm Sal. This is my wife, Debbie. Again, thank you so much for watching our channel, and we'll see you on board your next cruise.